Alright, so let's do question 28E. This is worth 4 marks in the HSC, so it's pretty much a big one. Matthew bought a laptop priced at $2,800. He paid a 10% deposit and made monthly repayments of $95.20 for 3 years. What annual flat rate of interest was Matthew charged? Justify your answer with suitable calculations. So, we have a formula sheet obviously provided to us in the exam. You have 4 formulas. The first one is called the simple interest. The next one's called the compound interest. Then we've got the future value of an annuity. And the last one is called the present value of an annuity. Now, if you remember what an annuity is, it's a repetitive kind of entry. So you're going to be putting in money often, right? So if you had $5,000, for example, in superannuation, you're going to put $5,000 every single year. Whereas compound interest and simple interest is like a one-off lump sum payment. So you're going to put $10,000 in the bank, and you're going to leave that $10,000, and then it's going to accrue depending on if it's simple interest or it's compound interest. Cool? Yeah. So in this case, Matthew bought a laptop priced at $2,800. He paid a 10% deposit and made monthly repayments of $95.20 for 3 years. So if he paid a 10% deposit, then he would have initially paid $2,800, right, times by 10%, which is 0.1. Same thing, 2,800 times 10%. Okay, so don't get fooled by that. It's just the same thing. So what's 2,800 times 10%? Obviously that should be $280. Cool. So it's $280 that he's paid as a deposit. So just like lay-by, when you're going to go to a shop and you're going to lay-by, you got to pay some sort of deposit first before you can actually buy the thing. Just in case if you don't pay it off, at least they've got some money from it. That's kind of the intuition behind it. So he's actually going to be paying, I guess, the repayments on $2,800, take away $280. Correct? You get that? Yeah. Because he wouldn't pay money on what he's already paid. So he's already paid $280. He doesn't get interest on that. But he gets interest on this. So 2,520 is how much is left on the laptop. He is paying monthly repayments. How many months in a year? 12. So monthly repayments are 12 repayments of $95.20 for 3 years. Cool? So he's paying 12 times 95.20 times by 3. Times by 3, right? Yeah. Do you get why I did that?
Yeah, because for 3 years.
For 3 years. So we're going to get 12 times 95.20 times 3. So altogether, at the end of 3 years, this is how much is actually paid. Ready? 3,427.2. How much was he meant to be paying?
2,520.
But obviously he's paid because of interest, right? You understand that? There must be, how much you repay back must be greater than how much you were actually meant to pay back. Okay, so you can work out the interest now. So the interest is easy to calculate. It's 3,427.2 take away 2520. Take away 2520. We get interest, so how much is actually paid back? How much is extra he has to pay on top of his initial investment is $907.20. Cool? Mm. But the question asks what annual flat rate of interest. It doesn't say calculate the interest, rate of interest, which means R. Right? Then from the formula sheet we have this. We have something that we named I is equal to P R N. Right? If you have a look at the formula sheet, it's there. Simple interest. Right? Mm. So I is now what? I is
907.
Yeah, so we got $907.20 equals, what's my principal amount? What's my very initial amount that I had interest on? 2520 times R, which I want to work out. But remember, R is over 100, right? Because percentage. Mm. Times by, and then How many years?
3.
Okay. Now, if we did it like this, the only problem is the fact that this is a monthly repayment for 3 years. So I must make my R,
3.
or not really. The only thing is that you're gonna make your R over 12 as well. So then you can make it interest a month as well. But I don't think it should make a difference, because if I made an R over 12, I'm gonna make it 36 here. 36 over 12 should still be 3. So for simple interest, it actually doesn't matter. So N was 3 years. Okay. I was just saying that because it is monthly repayments, you should make it over 12, so you can make your interest per month. But I was saying you're going to write 36 here, right? Because there's 36 months in 3 years. And then what's 36 over 12? That's still 3. So I might as well just times it by 3 and make it easy. For simple interest, it's not a big problem. Okay? And then we're just trying to make R the subject. So how would I make R the subject? How would I make R the subject in this case? So I want to divide by 2,520, divide by the 3 as well, and then eventually times by the 100.
And you get the answer.
And then I get the answer. Can you see that? Can you see all that? Because they're all times and divided, so I'm just going to do the opposite of each one. So I'll divide by 2,520, and I get 0.36. I divide by 3. I should have written that as well here. That cancels out though. So 0.36 divided by 3 is 0.12. Right? And then I go times by the 100. That's why I do the division of 100 here. Because a lot of people would think that's the rate. That's not a rate. Right? That's in decimal form. So obviously when you times by 100, you get R equals 12%.